But right now, based on the world which the way have been involved, content has been viewing differently. And even in media and marketing, we have one word in our industry, we say content is king.
Absolutely.
So now you are involving yourself in content production and things like that.
Yeah.
And this content are actually being used by different brands, different, even in terms of storytelling, to tell your story so that you can do things differently.
Yeah.
How is that been happening in terms of people that didn't see the importance? And do you think right now they see the importance of content creation and production?
I think there are two ways to respond to that. I still think, like Tanzania as a whole, we still have a long way to go. Mm-hmm. Kenyans are a bit ahead of it. They kind of understand there's a place where content, you can actually use content to take you further. Mm-hmm. Some of the brands still have a long way to learn that you need social presence.
Yeah.
You need to have like photos, you need to have videos, you have to have these things documented.
Memories.
Not just for the sake of it, mm-hmm. but to actually amplify your brand.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, when you're creating content, when you tell like a brand, I want to work with you or I want to do XYZ, mm-hmm. they think like, you can do it for free because they think they're doing a favor, mm-hmm. which is not literally what content creation is. Because mm-hmm. a brand decides to create content.
Yeah.
First of all, it's so hard to sell products as they are.
Exactly.
When it comes to content creation, a content creator or a content creation production house takes that content, gives it a life, and then it goes out. Because then you see people creating content around building bricks. That's not something you'll be like, you tell a story about a brick.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do.
You feel like part of it.
Exactly. You give that brick life. But then it's so hard. We're doing a bit better right now, but it was really hard to tell somebody like a building, I'll take your brick and create a story that people can resonate to. It seemed like a crazy idea, but majority are still on the learning curve. So it's going to take a while, but I think we're on the right track.
Oh, so I think now I understand when people are talking about storytelling, which means you explain well about giving it life. That means if it's an entrepreneur creating those TikTok and Reel video, it's giving their business a life so that people can resonate.
Yes.
If it's a brand, when you are shooting either it's a video production for the TVC or whatever, it's like they're trying to give their brand the life.
Yes.
So now combining it with the digital age, because we used to see the commercial only one part in terms of the TV, which they just giving us an ad and then that's it. But right now we have different creator. And I know at SmartStudio, you are working with a different artist, you are working with a different other partner. How does it work? What is the process? Because for us, we always see the output. But inside, what is the process, maybe specifically around the SmartStudio as well?
So that's actually a very insightful question. When most of the consumers or people who are not in the creative industry, what they see is the 60-second ad at the end of the day. But what they don't know is behind that 60-second ad, first you have to have a strategy.
Yeah.
It begins with a strategy. A person or a group of team of people have to come together and first understand your brand and then be like, okay, with what you're trying to do and where you're trying to go in the 3-year or 5-year plan, let's start with maybe XYZ. Here is your strategy for XYZ. For you to move from maybe point 1 to point A to Z, you need to actually create a TVC.
Yeah.
For this TVC, so that you stand out in the market because you have competitors, there has to be this particular way.
Yeah.
So all those goes into play before we actually move into like production. And then we have people who are going to embed your product. These are going to be the cast, the actors and the actresses. You have to find somebody who is relatable so that if somebody sees that, they see your brand. And then we get into the whole things of doing the casting, and then you get into production, and then there's the editing, there are different cuts back and forth, and then you get the 60-second. This can take roughly up to 3 months in the back end, but then somebody will just see a quick ad and then be like, skip ad, which is something I used to do, but I have actually appreciated that so much more ever since I got into the industry. So I see the ad, I'll take time to like, not because I know somebody's making money out of it, it's just always from a curiosity standpoint.
I think I love the process, because I thought like it's just that old man with a bicycle just taking a picture. I didn't know like, okay, so you have like a strategy, you have like ideation, you understand the output, and maybe me as a brand person, when you tell me to do either a TVC, I think for our audience, the TVC means television, TV commercials, you know, and videography and whatever. How is there a way I can measure my return of investment? How will I know that you tell me to spend X amount, and then at the end of the day, how will I know that has actually impacted my audience? Is there the output to specific channel, or how does it work?
With the TV, it's a bit different, but since you are in the innovation space, I'll take this route towards the digital realm. So if you post your video, there's a bit where you can see the back end. There's like analytics. You see how many people you probably were interested, or how many people did follow all the way to the CTA. I'm speaking production jungles. The CTA.
Call to action.
Call to action, exactly. So they'll be like, maybe this ad was seen by 1,000 people. Out of the 1,000, 20 clicked out at around maybe 30 seconds. And then 6 were interested all the way to the end, and they bought the product. So you can get all of these metrics, which can be shared. But you need to actually have a person who understands the end goal. Because if I know what I'm looking for, all those analytics will show me a lot, but I know exactly what I'm looking for. If you're looking for brand awareness, I can tell you like this had maybe 1 million impressions, which for you, you've already surpassed what you're looking for. If you're looking for sales, then the metrics will be different.
And I think for digital, it's really interesting, because right now, back in the days when you air the ad on radio or on TV, you never know at what time people skip, or if they want to listen back. Though this platform I see, even on YouTube, by the way, when you are watching a certain video, you'll see a certain area whereby a lot of people, they have actually, forwarded back in terms of there is a place which they want to see more.
Which
that means
a lot.
Yes. Which means as a marketer, it will tell me, a different insight, like, okay, what is happening here? What was my ad talking about? If we start telling a podcast like this, what did we talk about it here? Was it right? Was it wrong? Was it like a CTA? So it's actually giving me an insight. So in terms of the content creation and whatever, we understand there is a different placement. And how about the collaboration with the influencers? Because we see even influencers and artists, they produce a certain video just like a normal lifestyle. But behind the scene, we know a lot of studios, they are working behind, and they're working with other brands to make sure that is getting live. How does it work with the SmartStudio?
For us, you would think influencers, content creators will be our competitor. But one of our major successful story is that our biggest takeaway is always collaboration. So we collaborate with a lot of name brands, from celebrities, public figures, content creators. For us, we see them as partners. So if there's ever like a work in-house and we say like so-and-so, maybe the brand will be like, we want to work with this person, but we're like, for whatever you're trying to get at the end of the day, we recommend so-and-so. Because we have seen the analytics, we know how far they can go with this. Because for brands, most of the cases, they'll be like, we want so-and-so, and the reason will be they have a name, or they have 1 million followers. But majority of all the heavy lifting or maybe proper production is always done by the micro-influencers. Because they are still in the grind. They have a name, or they have to prove themselves. So I think these are the insights that when we work with brand, we'll be like, I know you want to work with ABC because they are famous or they have 1 million followers. But for this, you'd rather put your budget and work with micro-influencers, because this will take you further, and the return on investment is quite visible. And at the end of the day, it's a smaller risk on the side of the client.
Yeah, and I think that's a critical part, because for growth you have to grow with other people as well.
Exactly.
And since you are talking more on the area of your expertise, I now oversee that studio processes, especially for storytelling.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of work from the strategy while actually visualizing the output. And I think production and studio and storyteller as a whole, it's quite a huge industry on the behind the scene. Because people, they always wanted to be entertained, they want to see things, but behind the scene it's a lot of work, the likes of what SmartStudio are doing. And I think I'm happy today to sit with you as an expert in the area, because I've been questioned a lot of marketers, executive people, when we are sitting in boardrooms, they always challenge us, especially on innovation part. On last year, Smart Codes, they were doing collaboration with Clouds Media Group, and they had that digital innovation and marketing age. And I remember Smart Codes, they presented the future of marketing with AI, and also Ruben from Clouds Media Group saying that they even start thinking about creating a radio which will be controlled and which will be hosted by AI. It was AI futuristic radio, which we are waiting for it. Now with that one, most of the artists and the influencer were getting worried. Even clients were asking, why are we hiring X person to come and do voiceover? We know that SmartStudio is behind one of the top voiceover audio and jingle for different corporations. Do you see that you're going to replace a voiceover artist with a certain AI voice because the tools are there? Or do you see like there is gonna be like a collaboration? Because always for our clients sitting on the executive side, we always want to save, we always want to find a simplicity, but the output should be above and beyond. So how does the future of technology, AI and studio, is it going to work together, or is it going to replace some of the part of the production? Or what's the future? Because even our listeners are worried.